Hey guys, welcome back for another video. This is gonna be week 2. A little quick update as far as how my time is going at ATP. Before we get into the video, I actually wanted to say thank you to everybody that was supporting and commenting on the first video. I kind of just made it because I kind of wanted to just, keep track of my own progress. I didn't really think people were gonna see it. So that's kind of crazy, but I appreciate it. If you guys have any questions, please comment. Let me know. I'll try to answer everything as best as I can. So with that being said, let's hop right into it. All right, so hopping right into it. First 2 weeks of ATP flight school. Basically, it's been a pretty busy schedule. I've pretty much had no days off, 7 days a week. And really that's just because your first 2 weeks, as far as how ATP kind of does it, is going to be for ground school. And for me, it was from Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 12, so noon. You do like a Zoom. It's you and I guess for me it was 30 other students, so it could just depend on how big your class is. And that's just going over the fundamentals. It's your ground school. FAA requires 35 hours of ground school, so you do that for 2 weeks, 3.5 hours a day, 10 days. That's how you get your ground school completed. Once you do that, then you're cleared to start flying. So I've actually already started my flying progress. Few days late on this video, but so going through the Zooms is pretty easy. It's just a lot of studying. It's a lot of retaining information. But the better you do at that, honestly, the easier transition you get into when you actually get into the plane and everything. It helps out a lot. As far as the flying, it's been awesome. We've done 3 flights already. One was the fundamentals flight, where they just kind of take you out, do straight and level flight, up and down, climbs, descents, turns. Nothing too crazy, but still very fun, still very beautiful. Get to see everything and finally have a plane within your disposal. The second flight was a maneuvers flight. That one was pretty fun. That one we actually went out and started doing steep turns, power on stalls, power off stalls, different things like S turns. I believe those turns around the point, stuff that you need to know for your private pilot. Very fun. That was probably one of the coolest ones. And then the third flight was a TOL flight, so takeoff and landings. So I got to experience my first takeoff and landings. So much fun. Oh my god. I'm obsessed with aviation right now and flying. Just want to keep on going. I actually have my second TOL flight today, so that should be pretty cool. All right, and so in addition to that, your first 2 weeks is basically the ground school, and you don't really get flying time. It used to be different from what I've heard, that they used to do that fundamentals stuff later in the course, but it just makes sense to do it earlier. So they kind of changed their program around. It honestly works a lot for me. Helped me kind of click with a lot of the stuff, learning the fundamentals before you go out and fly. So it was pretty cool. Did like that. Do like the pacing of it. Now, since you're not allowed to fly, ATP does have, I believe, 4 different simulators. And I'll go ahead and show you a nice little video right now. So yeah, that's a simulator. Super cool, super fun. I can pretty much just show you a video or pictures of how it looks without anybody doing it, because ATP does not allow any recording during a session. So that's one thing that I had to learn, was you can't record during a session. They will kick you out. So same thing goes with your in-flight training. You can't set a GoPro up or anything like that. It's just, you have to basically memorize everything. And then the simulators were pretty cool. Very helpful, honestly, especially because before you actually get into a plane, you actually already practiced it. So that's one thing I really did enjoy. And then one other thing to add about the ground school. So that's going to be required for both your private pilot stage and then your instrument stage. So it's going to be the first 2 weeks of both stages is just ground school. And then you get into your flying, practicing. Then you do an evaluation with an instructor. And then you have basically have a lead instructor kind of just coach you and, teach you things. And then criticize you so you can get better. and then they start doing stuff to get you ready for your check ride. I'm not there yet, so I can't really speak on it, but so far it's pretty good. Overall, pacing is good. I would say it's very, very fast paced, and I have seen other students struggle a little bit. Me myself, I've fully devoted myself to this. It's a big loan, so why not? And I've been doing pretty good. Now, has it not, been hard? No, it's been pretty hard. But I'm just a hard worker naturally. So, and if you're that type of person that you like to grind, you like to, get things done and learn, and you can go at a fast pace, then it's a great program for you for sure. If you're the type of person that kind of needs things to be a little bit more at your own pace, I'd probably suggest another school, just because A2P is kind of one of those schools that it's very corporate-like, and they're very set on you getting your stuff done in a certain time. And if they feel like you're getting set back by anyway, they basically reevaluate you and are ready to kick you out. That way they don't waste your time, they don't waste their own time. They just kind of let you go, and then you can figure out, a different flight school or different path, whatever it might be. So that's one thing to consider, especially if you're going to be going ahead and, figuring out which flight school you want to go to, and, what type of student you are, what type of pacing you would like. You can't really have a job. Now, I have had a few hours throughout the week where I can actually go and do like some DoorDash or Uber Eats. 4 hours between studying, make myself like $50, helps out with gas. So you have a little bit of free time. You're not a complete slave, but you're pretty much just training. All right, and then another thing I wanted to go ahead and talk about too was the finance part about it. So the different loan companies that A2P works with are Sallie Mae and Meritize. Originally, for example, I applied for Sallie Mae. I even had a cosigner, and I didn't get accepted. But then I applied for Meritize without a cosigner and got accepted. So it's going to be pretty much, you just got to find out which bank will do it for you. And it is a private loan. It's not it's not funded by, student loans, like from the government. And then they don't accept the GI Bill. So if you're military, you don't get that option either. You do have to go take a student loan out. So it's going to be mostly based off like your merits and your credit, stuff like that. Now, I had pretty good credit, so I was able to do it without getting a cosigner, but that was with one company. The other company, even with a cosigner, didn't do it. So it's going to be different for everybody. Also, in additional to the expenses and finance part about it, is there's going to be additional expenses. Now, those additional expenses are going to be stuff like that you need as a pilot. So you can invest as much as you think you'll need. For example, there's a headset that you need for being in an airplane, talking, using your comms. Well, for that, you can either go get your $100 cheapo depot from Amazon, which is what I did. So there's nothing wrong with it. Works great. Or you can go and spend $1,200 on the nice noise canceling headphones. And those are great, but it's going to be different for everybody. You're also going to need to get things like an iPad and several different apps for the iPad, like ForeFlight, and etc. That I would say you budget another $300-400 for. The iPad could be at least, anywhere between $200 to $1,000, depending on what you want. I have the iPad Pro, and it's the 12.9 inch, and it's great for studying. But what I have noticed that when I'm in the airplane, it's just way too big. I got a freaking laptop in my lap when I'm trying to fly. So I've actually had to go out ahead and pay for an additional iPad, though one of those iPad minis that will just sit in my lap. So whenever I need information, I can just easily do it, and it's not hindering my flying ability. So one thing to consider for sure, learn from my mistakes so you don't make them. Other expenses are gonna pretty much be stuff like a knee board. You're gonna need different items like your foggles. Basically, it's for when you get to your instrument stage. It kind of like blocks your vision, so it simulates like you're in the clouds. And then other just little expenses. All right, and then the last thing I wanted to kind of talk about in this video was also make sure when you choose your ATP location that you know what they offer as a location. So for example, my location, Cape High in Tampa, they have a maintenance facility. It's one of the main maintenance facilities. So typically whenever an aircraft goes down, you know, it just has to go get taxied over and then fixed up and then come right back. Other locations in the area don't have that, so what they have to do is when their aircraft go down, they have to fly it over here or get it over here somehow, get it fixed, and then bring it back, which takes more time, which essentially will take you longer time in the process because, you know, flights will get canceled. You know, you'll have to be sitting down waiting for weeks sometimes just because you can't get any availability. So definitely make sure you have a maintenance facility at your location if you can. All right, and then that's it for my week 2 video. I'll go ahead and keep on keeping you guys updated as I go through the process. If you guys have any questions, comments, just general advice, maybe if you guys could teach me how to video edit or something, that'd be nice. But thank you guys for watching again, and I'll see you next week. Peace.